meeting room will come to order. At this time, to kick things off, I will ask Mr. Derek Sales to lead us all in a word of prayer.
Dear Lord, we're thankful for today. Thankful for letting us gather today to celebrate the accomplishment and history we made. Just remember to always put God first. Amen.
Thank you very much, Derek. At this time, I'll ask the Cumberland County Varsity Cheerleading Squad to lead us in a pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. At this time, we'll call the roll. This will also serve as a mic check for all of the court. District 1 Magistrate Rodwell Ray.
Here.
District 2 Magistrate Lane Cope.
Here.
District 3 Magistrate Larry Anderson.
Here.
District 4 Magistrate Jeff Cyphers.
Here.
Coleman Hurt, County Attorney.
Here.
Thank you all very much. First item of business, as always, we'll need to review those minutes. If you haven't had a chance to do so, those are in the packets that you were given in advance. I'll entertain a motion on the first set of minutes, which was from our regularly scheduled meeting in January. Is there a motion to that effect? Motion to approve, is there a second?
Second.
Appropriately seconded by the magistrate of the first district. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. At this time, we'll now entertain a motion to approve the minutes submitted from the special call meeting in the latter part of the month. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
So moved by the magistrate of the third district. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the magistrate of the second district. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. At this time, we'll now move into the departmental reports. For all of our guests that are here, what this will be at each of our court meetings. We will have all of the different department chairs, all of the different countywide office holders that are here in attendance. They get an opportunity to tell the court and the general public what's going on in Cumberland County. So at a minimum, once every single month, you'll have an update from the folks whose salaries you pay to represent you here in the county. So we will start without further ado with the road supervisor, Mr. Ricky Melton. If you would come to the podium, turn the mic on for us, and tell us anything you have going on.
We've finished a bridge project on Dutch Creek Cemetery Bridge, and we're fixing to start a project on the Oil Fork Road, and we have 2 bridges there to do, so we're moving forward. The weather's good, and I couldn't be prouder of the team. Our guys have really come together. We built the bridge ourselves. They did. I was in and out, but we had a lot of help from Gary Groves and his team, and also, but we've been fortunate to have a good crew and good hard workers, and they've worked hard. The weather's been not the best, but we've struggled through the winter time to do this in the winter. It's a pretty good feat to get that done, so that's about all I have.
And what I would like, because I know it's not every day that the Cumberland County Road Crew builds bridges, but when they do, it's obvious they do a good job on it. We as a court appreciate the work that they've done up there on that project and all the projects to come. At this time, I know, Ricky, of course, you're head of the County Road Department, but any other member of the County Road Department, I'd like them to stand and be recognized at this time.
I'd like to also say that I didn't get to attend the other meeting y'all had, and this is the first time I've been to the fiscal court meeting, so it's good to see everyone. And y'all got a tough seat that you're sitting in there, and my job's pretty easy. My crew, they work hard and they take care of me. It makes my job seem easy. So, but y'all got the tough seats you're sitting in there, and I'll be looking forward to serving the court in the county for another 4 years, and hopefully everything we keep moving forward and get a lot of projects closed out this next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and keep moving forward.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions for Ricky? Thank you very much. At this time, I'll ask our EM Director, Mr. Greg Carey, if you would come forward with the report.
March is Severe Weather Awareness Week, March the 6th through the 10th, and they'll also do the 7th, they'll do a tornado drill. We have a system that's called Code Red. Actually, OnSolve owns it now. It's called Code Red OnSolve. And what it is, we use it for reverse 911. It does weather warnings, it does hazmat spills. We use it for water advisories and everything. And I'm going to tell you how it's really simple to sign up for. A lot of people don't know about it, people that's moved in here. And we have several water main breaks and water advisories, and it's really handy. But you text Cumberland KY, all lowercase, to 99411, and then hit send, and it'll pop up a link. You open that link, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I recommend highly, unless you've got a good memory, or write it down. Don't make yourself just do it as a guest. Don't make yourself, because you'll have to remember the password if you sign in
Right,
again.
and if you would, Greg, repeat that for all those that will be watching this online later. Repeat that if they wish
Okay.
to sign up.
Text Cumberland KY, all one word, lowercase, to 99411,
Very good.
and it will pop up a link, and you can. And if you have any problems at all, I've signed up a lot of people, because you can go to my website and sign up also. But this is a whole lot easier. You just text that to that number, and
It's better to do it before the middle of
right,
school
because
season.
actually severe weather starts, and it's really handy. It serves as a weather radio.
Very good. Any questions for our EM Director? Thank you very much. ABC Officer, Junior Smith.
James Smith Jr.
Cumberland County ABC for the month of December. Our sales $75,753.41. Year to date, $1,665,271.36. Regulatory fee for December, $3,787.67. Year to date, $82,076.66. Everything is in order on my end. What we talked about this morning came through today. Their current should be good. All the licenses are done, paid for and collected, and we're good for another year with them.
Very good. Any questions for the ABC Officer? Thank you very much, Junior.
Thank you.
At this time, I will ask, in the place of our jailer who couldn't be with us, our deputy jailer, Miss Patty Bryant, if she would please come forward.
Patty Bryant, deputy for the Cumberland County Jail.
If you would, Miss Patty, I think the
It's
mic's
not turned on. There we
perfect.
go.
Thank you very much.
For the month of January, we had a total of 28 runs. 24 of those were to Columbia, 2 to Christian County, 2 to Barron County, with a total of 1,888 miles. At the first of the month in Adair County Regional Jail, Cumberland County housed 25 inmates. As of today, we have 30. Now, during the month of January, we had 16 on home incarceration for a total of 301 days, saving our county approximately $9,030 in jail bill.
Very good. Any questions for the deputy jailer? Thank you very much, Ms. Patty. Mayor Laurel Irby, is she still with us? She had to leave, okay. Solid Waste Coordinator, Mr. Jefferson Abney, is at a training right now trying to make sure that we get all the grants that we can possibly get in Cumberland County, so we appreciate him being there. But in his place, we will have a member of the Solid Waste and Recycling Committee to offer that report, Ms. Stacy Thrasher.
Stacy Thrasher, I'm also the county treasurer and tax administrator. Now, the list of names for our waste haulers are Trash Panda, Morrison's Waste, No More Junk, Jones Garbage, RNG Disposal, Twin Lakes Waste, and Transfer Station. These are all, have all turned in their reporting as of February, and they are all paid as of February. Now, if you would like to be a waste hauler in Cumberland County, you can apply by calling 270-864-3444, or you can email cumberlandcountyhelp@gmail.com. Now, the permit fee is $400, that is for 1 year, and the fee and also the solid waste annual report that they need to turn in is due by February 1st of each year. There is one hauler that has turned in their report, which is Kentucky Sanitation, and we are working on getting their payment. So.
Any questions for the county treasurer? Thank you very much, Stacey. Sheriff Keaton Williams.
Good evening. Everything I report's really good. We started something new. Of course, we started at the beginning of January. It's called alcohol enforcement, and we do this to be for preventative. It's so our deputies can be, including myself, can be in more areas of the county more often. And it's proven to be good because I've heard from members of the community coming to me and say, hey, we appreciate you being out there. We love seeing you. So we're going to continue that. It's really good. It keeps us, you know, like I said, in more areas of the county more often, and we keep a log of it so it's proof of what we're doing. But other than that, everything is running really good and running really smooth at the Sheriff's Office. I really appreciate your all support.
Very good. Thank you, Sheriff. Any questions for the sheriff? Thank you very much. Mr. County Court Clerk Brian Morgan.
Brian Morgan, County Clerk. Everything's going really good in the office. Had a really good first month. I will have a quarterly report for the court every quarter, just to see the taxes and disbursements. Saturday operation is open officially beginning January 1, and the new software program is up and running and working really great.
Any questions for the clerk? Thank you very much, sir. PBA, Ms. Gina Shea Watson, is she with us this afternoon? County Coroner, Mr. Gary White.
Thank you, Judge, Masters. Everything's running pretty smooth. We finally got to have a child fatality review team meeting. First one we've had in 2 years, thanks to COVID, but we finally did get to meet. Some of you new masters, what this is, it's anytime we have a child death in our county, it's a county coroner's duty to investigate it, state law. What we've done, we merged with Clinton County, so we had two teams. We had Cumberland County and Clinton County together. As of our last meeting, Wayne County joined us, so now we got a tri-county, so we got Cumberland, Clinton, and Wayne. So what that consists of, anytime that county has a child fatality, we will meet and discuss what happened, see if there's anything that could be changed, anything we could do in the future to educate or whatever. Luke, I appreciate you coming. Keaton, you came to our first meeting. We had 4 cases, 3 from Clinton and 1 from Wayne. Thank goodness we didn't have that from Cumberland County, but it's a pretty neat meeting. I mean, it's something that really needs to be done, and I really take pride in doing it. But if any of y'all managers want to join, I'd be glad to have y'all. It consists of Greg's on TM director. It consists of fire department members, lay people, got nurses, Commonwealth attorneys on it. Coleman, if you want to, you'd be glad. County attorney sat on it, be glad to have you. We've had some masters in the past, we don't now, but if any of y'all want to join, I'd be glad to have you. As of now, we meet twice a year, but if we have a case, we will meet then. And we take turns going to where we're going. So next meeting we have, we'll go to Wayne County and have it. And then we'll come back to Cumberland County. So we just kind of rotate on that basis. But pray that we don't have nothing, we'll just meet on a regular basis and do nothing. But be glad to have anybody who wants to join. Even people in the public, if they want to join, it's a confidential. Once you join this team, everything is confidential. You got to sign a confidentiality agreement. What happens to those meetings stays in that meeting. But it's a good meeting, and it's mandated by the state that we do this. We have to report to the state. So Other than that, everything's going good. We got conference coming up in April, which I'll be going. Michael and Dr. Flowers will be going up in April for conference. So it'll be the first time all three of us went at the same time. So, but I've got the county covered, so I don't have to worry about that. Very good. Other than that, everything's going good.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the coroner? Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to ask to come to the podium our Animal Control Officer, Mr. Brian O'Connor, for his report.
Don't have anything really new to report, except the shelter is still full. We're not taking in many strays. We're doing only emergencies right now.
Okay.
So it's about the same since the first of the year.
Very good. Any questions for our Animal Control Officer? Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Now, at this time, this will be just a little bit different than usual. This will be a guest report. I've asked her to come. She's done so much for this community as of late, especially, not to mention the several decades that she spent in the school system. But Miss Amy Morgan, if you would come forward at this time, I would like for you to share with the group what you and the magistrate of the 4th District and several of the rest of your community members have been working on with Partners with Pride.
Thank you for inviting me to come today. My name is Amy Morgan, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of background of the Partners with Pride program. I am representing the Partners with Pride organization, and that's a beautification program for Cumberland County. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we are financially supported by sponsorships of organizations like yourself and private citizens of our community. The sponsors are recognized by the signs in the flower beds located at each corridor coming into the Burkesville city limits. We have been creating beautification and enhancement projects for Cumberland County since 2016, when it was established by my daughter, Molly Morgan. She was a Rogers Scholar graduate at the time, and her 4-H agent, Elijah Wilson. The plan was to make their community an even better place to live. We have worked with past and current magistrates on projects in each area of the county. Magistrate Rhonda Gray donated his time and equipment to clean an area for us a couple of years ago, and Magistrate Jeff Cyphers attended a meeting a few months ago to ask for beautification ideas for Marrowbone. From that meeting, we came up with the idea to create welcome signs for Marrowbone. With the help from one of our Partners with Pride committee members, Charlotte Cash, she designed these ideas for the welcome signs. Can I present these to them?
Certainly, certainly.
There's 1, 2 for each.
Thank you.
These are the 2 designs that will be created over in Marrowbone on Highway 90, coming in from Burkesville area, from that side of town, and then also from the Glasgow side of town. The red bird is being used since it was the mascot for the Marrowbone School when it was still open. They are real similar, but they are different. Sorry about that. As of tomorrow, we'll be finalizing the state highway permits and locations for these future signs, and the construction should be starting right away. Partners with Pride meets the last Thursday of every month at 4 o'clock at the chamber office, and I want to invite you all to attend the meetings. If you have any questions about Partners with Pride, please call me at any time, or I'm open for questions right now.
Any questions for Miss Amy?
The second one, was that date again?
It's the last Thursday of every month at the chamber office at 4 o'clock.
And those are really good meetings.
Yes, thank you. And I'd love for y'all to come to any of them. So sometimes we have snacks. And thank you all for your support. Y'all been supportive of the Partners with Pride since 2016. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, at this time, we have in our presence at the court meeting today a group of young people. We have 2 letters of recognition that the court would like to present to each of these groups. So at this time, and you all have already been presented with your hard copy, but I would like to read so that everyone in the courtroom, as well as all those taxpayers in Cumberland County, know just how proud we as the Cumberland County Fiscal Court and Cumberland County Management Team are of these two groups. What I would ask is, when I call your name, please stand. February 13th, 2023, to whom it may concern. This letter of recognition serves as notice to the residents of Cumberland County and all taxpayers herein that the Cumberland County Fiscal Court and staff thereof are incredibly proud of the recent accomplishments of the Cumberland County boys varsity basketball team. Members of the team include Kane Cross, Eli Morgan, Garrett Scott, Burke Sales, Tristan Caparetta, Byron Crawley, Riley Miller, Devin Norris, Aiden Branham, Damian Kovaleski, Derek Sales, Braden Purdue, Latrell Alexander, Lance Willen, and Ray Harwood. The team is led by head coach Curtis Claywell, assistant coaches Daniel Lee, Patrick Crawley, Seth Stockton, and manager Jason Lawson. Please remain standing, gentlemen. The Panther basketball team has shown us what we can accomplish if we remain determined and focused on and off the court. The team should not be viewed merely as a group of boys who are skilled at basketball, but rather as a group of gentlemen who know how to communicate quickly and effectively, respond in the face of adversity, continue to show up when the chips are down, and give generously to their teammates in a time of need. As a result, these gentlemen have made history in our county. For the first time ever, members of the Cumberland County boys basketball team were recognized as the 2023 4th Region Class A champions. These gentlemen and their coaches have countless reasons to be proud of their recent successes. Likewise, we as citizens of Cumberland County have just as many reasons to be proud of their team. May we as representatives of Cumberland County follow their example by always giving it our best and responding positively no matter the odds. As members of the Cumberland County Fiscal Court, we congratulate the Cumberland County High School Sports Boys Varsity Basketball Team on their accomplishment and thank them for the positive example that they have set for their peers and each of us. You have made Cumberland County very proud. Thank you. Gentlemen, you may be seated. Same rules apply for the ladies as I read your name. If you would please stand. February 13th, 2023, to whom it may concern. This letter of recognition serves as notice to the residents of Cumberland County and all taxpayers herein that the Cumberland County Fiscal Court and staff thereof are incredibly proud of the recent accomplishments of the Cumberland County Varsity Cheerleading Squad. Members of the team include Autumn Sales, Reagan Miller, Sydney Acree, Molly Wilson Key, Kaylee Oberscheider, Kendall Perry, Abby Anderson, Audrey Pierce, Taylor Likens, Ellie Sales, Kenzie Smith, Michaela Graham, Alyssa New, Jada Logan, Riley Davidson, and Sadie Arterberg. The team is led by head coach Natalie Kraft, assistant coach Kaylee Roberts, and student assistant Natalie Kraft. The varsity cheerleaders have demonstrated tremendous coordination and developed strong lines of communication in their practices and in competitions. They have helped one another on and off the court. They quite literally pick each other up and elevate their team members higher than they could stand alone. This commitment to a team has resulted in our local cheerleaders being named the 2023 Boys Class A statewide runner-up, the 2022-2023 KHSAA Region 2 Game Day runner-up, and the 2022-2023 KHSAA State Cheer Champions Top 12 Game Day team. The varsity cheer team has countless reasons to be proud of their recent successes. Likewise, we as citizens of Cumberland County have just as many reasons to be proud of the team. May we as representatives of Cumberland County serve with the same commitment to teamwork that these ladies have demonstrated. As members of the Cumberland County Fiscal Court, we congratulate the varsity cheerleaders on their accomplishments and thank them for the positive example that they have set for their peers and each of us. You have made Cumberland County very, very proud. Thank you. Now, at this time, I will keep you all here for the rest of the meeting. I know you all got busy schedules for all of our youth. You're welcome to stay. If you wish to stay, you've got copies of the agenda, so you've got an idea. If not, we understand we'll give about 30 seconds for you all if you need to vacate and go somewhere else. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Okay, at this time we'll jump back into old business, and I appreciate all of those in attendance here too that came out to support those students. That was incredibly kind of each of you, so thank you for showing your support to them also. Moving into old business, we have proposed ordinance 2023-001 concerning acceptance and roads into the county road system. This is a second reading. This is a final reading. If you feel so inclined afterward and would like to make a motion to accept, I'll accept that. If not, no worries there. This requires a motion, a second, and a passage vote if it is to be adopted. This time I will read the second reading of this proposed ordinance in full. An ordinance established by the Cumberland County Fiscal Court regulating the acceptance of roads into the county road system so as to implement more specific provisions for road inspections and acceptance. Whereas Cumberland County, Kentucky has established a road system pursuant to the Constitution of Kentucky and the Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 178, and whereas Cumberland County, Kentucky established a system for accepting roads into its systems so that citizens of Cumberland County, Kentucky shall be advised as to the minimum requirements for acceptance of a road into the county road system, and so that the citizenry shall be provided equal treatment in the acceptance of roads in the county system. And now therefore be it ordained by the Fiscal Court, Cumberland County, Kentucky, that this ordinance shall be known as the County Road Acceptance Ordinance. Section 1. Acceptance of new roads into the county road system. No road shall be accepted into the county road system following the effective date of this ordinance unless each of the following conditions are met. 1. A survey description and plat must be presented to the Cumberland County Fiscal Court and signed by a surveyor licensed as such by the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and which depicts the proposed road and establishes a right-of-way of not less than 20 feet in width from the center of the proposed road. 2. If the county does not already own a right-of-way of 20 feet or more from the center of the proposed right-of-way, all property owners whose property fronts on said roadway shall present the Cumberland County Fiscal Court a deed conveying in fee simple by general warranty deed so much of their property as is necessary to establish said right-of-way. Number 3, any petitioner or petitioners or grantors or grantor for a proposed adoption of a particular road as a county road must bear the expense of survey cost and deed preparation in addition to the site work necessary to meet the requirements of this section. Number 4, the proposed county road shall not be less than 14 feet in width. 5, the proposed road must be ditched and tiled. 6, any driveway accessing the proposed road shall be tiled and subject to approval of the county road supervisor and district's magistrate. 7, no road shall be accepted into the county road system if it serves fewer than 2 landowners. 8, a compacted base rock foundation of 4 inches or more, plus a minimum of 2 inches of blacktop must be applied to any proposed road prior to adoption. 9, all newly proposed county roads must be inspected by the county road supervisor and the district's magistrate in a form filed with the fiscal court from the county road leaders and/or county road supervisor. Section 2, fiscal court discretion. Although no county road shall be accepted into the county road system unless it meets these specifications set forth herein, the decision to upgrade or accept a road into the system shall be within the sole and exclusive discretion of the Cumberland County Fiscal Court, acting in best interest of the county and its citizenry, and it shall not be compelled to accept any roadway into the system unless it chooses to do so, irrespective of anything within this ordinance to the contrary. Section 3. Exceptions for existing and pending petitions. Any petition pending with the Cumberland County Fiscal Court is excluded from this ordinance for a period of no more than 6 months from the date of acceptance of this ordinance. But those petitions must still comply with the county road system's requirements that were in effect at the time said petition was originally submitted. After 6 months, any pending petition must comply with the requirements set forth in this ordinance. Section 4. Provisions of this ordinance are severable, and if any provision or part thereof shall be held invalid and unconstitutional or inapplicable to any person or circumstance, such invalidity or unconstitutionality or inapplicability shall not affect or impair the remaining provisions of this ordinance. With the exception of extending or pending petitions identified in Section 3, this ordinance shall become effective upon second reading and adoption. At this time, any discussion or a motion or a second? I'll entertain the motion, of course, before the second, but I would like to say, as the individual that proposed this ordinance, the reason for doing is to protect the taxpayers' money so that any road coming onto the county road system is not subject to a lot of work on the front end. The taxpayers, with appropriate notice, we are letting folks know any new roads coming on the county road system, if this passes, must be up to these standards. This serves as notice, and again, protecting the taxpayers' dollars and interest. Is there any further discussion or a motion to accept?
Motion.
So moved by magistrate of the first district. Is there a second? Second by magistrate of the second district. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
I'd like to roll call.
The roll call vote has been called for. District 1 Magistrate, Rondell Ray.
Yes.
District 2 Magistrate, Lane Cope.
Yes.
District 3 Magistrate, Larry Anderson.
Yes.
District 4 Magistrate, Jeff Cyphers.
No.
Thank you, motion passes. At this point then, there's 6 months, any pending applications, they have 6 months to get those approved or they're on the new rules and the new ordinance. This time, we'll move into the tornado shelter update. We have 2 proposed sites for the tornado shelters, one at Salem Park and one over next to the Maribone Volunteer Fire Department. As we've mentioned before, the budget that we started with for those projects was much lower than where it is right now. Greg Carey, our EM director, Ricky Melton, county road supervisor, and several other contractors are trying to help us explore options and ways to get that cost down. Again, with the taxpayers' best interest in heart, we can't in good conscience do anything other than turn over every single stone and look for ways to get this to be affordable and see if we still have a way forward here. One of the ways that we will look to do that is to make sure that anywhere we have allocated money to, that is its highest and best use. So this is a court responsibility as well as it is a judge's responsibility, that we have to make sure every single penny that goes out on the court checks is defensible, that it is getting a high value return on investment for the citizens of Cumberland County. With that being said, and with all of that in mind, I have a letter from the Cumberland County Water District with respect to an appropriation or an obligation rather that we committed to with them for one of their water projects, that in conversations with them, they have graciously agreed to de-obligate the money that we previously obligated as a court, the prior administration obligated for a water project on Bull Ridge Road. It was to cover half of Bull Ridge Road. That project is probably not right around the corner. That's going to take some time to get to that. So what I am recommending for consideration is that the court consider accepting the letter from the Cumberland County Water District, and in that letter, they have agreed to give that money back. We didn't give them the actual cash money, but we obligated the money to them, to release us of that obligation and use half of that money that was obligated to Bull Ridge, over $300,000 previously obligated to Bull Ridge. Half of that money would be re-obligated with court approval, of course, for the Maribone Water Project. We have a bit of an issue with water loss right now that I think the Cumberland County Water Department could use some funds to assist on that undertaking. They do have, my understanding, and I won't get in front of anything that they're working on, but my understanding, they have put in for some grant applications for that project, because this is not going to be a cheap project. This is a very expensive project, but it is a project that affects several people. So for that reason, at this time, if you would, consider the letter that's been provided by the Cumberland County Water District, and I will entertain a motion from the court to de-obligate the money that the Cumberland County Water District has agreed to release to give back, and then we will entertain, if it's the court's will, we will re-entertain the obligating of half of that money to the Maribone Water District for their project there.
And I just want to
Yes,
say,
sir.
real quick, because you told us the people on Bull Ridge, we're not forgetting about them.
That is
It's further
correct.
down the road.
That is correct. This is not to say that folks on Bull Ridge are not getting any water.
Right.
This is just saying for the immediate need, this money can be deployed to a larger population. That is correct. Very good. Thank you, Magistrate from the 4th District.
I'll make a motion.
So moved by Magistrate of the 4th District. Is there a second? Second by Magistrate of the 3rd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Now that was to de-obligate those funds that the Water District had agreed to relinquish. At this time, if it be the will of the court, I'll entertain a motion to re-obligate half of those funds back now to the Maribone Water Project.
Motion.
So moved by Magistrate of the 4th District. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate of the 2nd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the Cumberland County Water District's help in that and all the information that they provided us so that we can make an educated decision there. Does any member of the court have any old business which should properly come before the meeting before moving into new business? Hearing none, we'll now move into letter A on new business, budget amendment. What this is, just as a quick explanation, this is when we get money on the budget, identifying how much we expect to get each year. We cannot have a budget amendment until we have brought in on the revenue side an excess of what we have budgeted, or on the revenue side, an excess of what we budgeted to spend on the expense side, excuse me. Does that make sense there? Just the one page that you're looking at for those budget amendments. If no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve those as presented.
Motion.
Motion so moved by Magistrate of the 1st District. Is there a second? Seconded by Magistrate of the 2nd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. We'll now move into cash transfers. Remember, this is actual cash transferring from one account to another. We just have the one. Cash transfer from the general fund to the jail fund in the amount of $30,000. This will require a motion and a second if it is to pass. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved, Judge.
So moved by Magistrate of the 3rd District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Magistrate from the 4th District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Letter C under new business, budget transfers. This is moving those budget line items on paper so that reconciles. We've got enough money on paper for the expenses that are coming out. This will require a motion and a second. Is that the will of the court? Is there a motion from the 3rd District? Motion from the 1st District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Magistrate from the 3rd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. This time, letter D, the warrants. Again, keep in mind, this is our bills, our invoices for the month. You've had an opportunity opportunity, no doubt, to look over those. Any questions, and if not, a motion to approve those, and then a second?
Second.
Is there a motion first?
So moved.
So moved by Magistrate of the 3rd District, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Magistrate of the 2nd District, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. This time, we're going to move into letter E under new business. That is the request for the revolving fund expense approval. The reason that this invoice that you're looking at now is not on the warrant is because it's not in any one specific category. This invoice of $218.37 is for checks. And those are checks that we use for all of the different accounts. So instead of it going into one particular account on all of those warrants, this is a standalone invoice for approval. If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve that. So moved by Magistrate of the 2nd District, is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Magistrate of the 4th District, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. This time, letter F, I'll ask Sarah from the Sheriff's Department to come up and present to us the 2022 Sheriff's Department Annual Settlement.
Okay, the last few pages.
If you would, Sarah.
Microphone. The last few pages of your packet includes our annual settlement. This is for the entire year of 2022, calendar year. We had budgeted $525,000. Our income and expenses was $452,911.18. We were good in all the different categories, and I actually have a check for excess fees in the amount of $46,327.58 to get you all tonight.
We really appreciate that. Come back anytime.
Yeah.
Any questions for Sarah?
Thank you.
Thank you
You're
very,
welcome.
very much.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll need a motion, if it be the will of the court, to approve that 2022 settlement statement. So moved by the Magistrate of the 3rd District, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate of the 1st District, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, at this point, I will ask that the county court clerk come forward. Letter G under new business is the proposed resolution requested by the Cumberland County Court Clerk, Brian Morgan.
Thank you, Judge. I'd like to read Cumberland County Resolution 2023-002.
Please do, thank you.
Adoption of a resolution of the Cumberland County Fiscal Court authorizing the filing of a Kentucky House Bill 1, County Clerk's election equipment grant application for up to $23,800 in HB1 project funds with the Department for Local Government. Authorizing and directing the Cumberland County Judge Executive to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by DLG to carry out this project, and authorizing the Judge Executive to act as the authorized correspondent for this project. Whereas Cumberland County desires to purchase election equipment approved by the State Board of Elections on behalf of the residents of Cumberland County by supporting the HB1 project. And whereas it recognizes that HB1 money is available to the county for the purpose stated herein pursuant to 2022 Kentucky General Assembly HB1 budget bill, impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the county and require, among other things, 1, approval of a satisfactory application transmitted to the State Board of Elections for approval, and 2, other obligations of the county in connection with receiving the HB1 grant of monies for the purpose stated herein. Now therefore, be it resolved by the Fiscal Court, County of Cumberland, Commonwealth of Kentucky, that HB1 County Clerk Election Equipment Grant Application on behalf of the county for HB1 monies up to $23,800 for EPB funding project. Project shall be submitted to DLG. The county shall provide such additional information and furnish such documentation as may be required, and the county judge executive shall act as the authorized correspondent for this project.
This resolution will require a motion and a second to pass. Before we get into any discussion or vote among the court, I would ask Mr. Clerk if you would explain to us as a court what this goes toward.
Okay. House Bill 1, we are required to purchase new electronic polling books. State Board of Elections provided those for the last 2 elections. Well, their contract is up, so the county is going to be responsible for buying their own electronic poll books. Through House Bill 1, our participation, we can request refund for $23,800, which is $1,700 per unit. The money's already there. We choose to participate in this so it doesn't cost the taxpayers of Cumberland County 1 cent.
Very good. Any questions for the clerk? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the resolution as presented.
Motion.
So moved by Magistrate of the 1st District. Is there a second? Seconded by Magistrate of the 4th District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Appreciate it. This time we'll move over into letter H of new business. Letter H of new business. We have, as a course of doing business, the responsibility to nominate, I as county judge have the responsibility to nominate to the court for approval for different committee and board positions. We have a few different ones to go through tonight. The nominations are as follows. Todd Morgan, Christy Willen to the Cumberland County Extension District Board for terms expiring December the 31st, 2025. Jay Carey to the Tourism Commission for a term expiring September the 30th, 2025. Hayward Adams to the Tourism Commission for a term expiring July 31st, 2025. Miss Angela Morrison for a library board term expiring July 31st, 2025, and Miss Pamela Davis for a library board term ending July 31st, 2025. Those are my recommendations put forth to the court. If you wish to accept, that needs to be in the form of a motion and a second.
So moved.
So moved by Magistrate of the 3rd District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Magistrate of the 1st District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. We appreciate all of those individuals' willingness to serve the citizens of Cumberland County. This time we'll move into letter I under new business, Fiscal Court Committee assignments. Now, each of you as representatives of your district, I will be calling off to you what committees you will serve on over the course of the next year. So these are good until the start of the next year when we have any new committee assignments. I will announce the committee chairwoman or chairman of each of these as we go through. The Road Committee, Larry Anderson, District 3 Magistrate, Chairman. Lane Cope, District 2 Magistrate. Ricky Melton, Road Supervisor. Those are the Road Committee members. The Maintenance and Equipment Subcommittee, this is under the Road Committee. Jeff Cyphers, District 4 Magistrate, Chairman. Rhonda Ray, District 1 Magistrate. Ricky Melton, Road Supervisor. Rescue Squad Committee, Greg Carey, EM Director and Chairman. Jeff Cyphers, District 4 Magistrate. Rhonda Ray, District 1 Magistrate. Personnel Committee, Luke King, Judge Executive and Chairman. Stacy Thrasher, Treasurer. Eugenia Ferguson, Finance Officer. Ricky Melton, Road Supervisor. Junior Smith, ABC Officer. Lane Cope, District 2 Magistrate. Solid Waste and Recycling Committee, Jefferson Abney, Solid Waste Coordinator and Chairman. Stacy Thrasher, Treasurer. Larry Anderson, District 3 Magistrate, Member. Budget Committee, Stacy Thrasher, County Treasurer and Chairwoman. Luke King, Judge Executive as a member. Lane Cope, Magistrate, District 2 as a member. Animal Control Committee, Rhonda Ray, District 1 Magistrate and Chairman. Brian O'Connor, Animal Control Officer as member. Greg Carey, EM Director as member. Keaton Williams, Sheriff as member. Eugenia Ferguson as Finance Officer as member. Any questions regarding your committee assignments for the upcoming year, or the current year rather? Okay, hearing none, we'll move into letter J under new business. consideration of additions and deletions of county roads into the county, of roads into the county road system. We have for consideration of the court tonight 2 roads. I will defer to our magistrate of the 2nd District to address the court and tell us about these roads. We have Lake Village Drive, and we have Dripping Springs Road. Magistrate from the 2nd District.
I went out and looked at these roads along with the road supervisor, and the roads, according to the specifications of how they need to be built, they went above and beyond as far as the rock that they had put down, and I would think that the roads are suitable to be added on to the county maintenance.
Very good. Now, the way that this will work, and Mr. County Attorney, please correct me if this is not the case, but the way that this will work, my understanding is that we will advertise these 2 roads as being adopted potentially onto the county road system. We will send the county road viewers out. That's their responsibility to go out, check, and then submit to the court a report that says that those are satisfactory. If that is the case, once it's been advertised, once that's been approved, then we as a court, Mr. County Attorney, correct me if I'm wrong, will, if it be the court's will, have a motion presented, a second, and a vote to adopt those into the county road system. Is that your understanding?
That's it.
Any questions regarding either of these 2 roads at this meeting? Hearing none, we'll now proceed to the next item of business. Thank you, Magistrate from District 2, for presenting that. I will mention quickly on letter K on the agenda, the Maribel Volunteer Fire Department. We have some digital repeaters that have been obligated to them. That my understanding back several months ago that our EM director now, he's got those taken care of where they are ready to be shipped to us when we're ready for them so that they can be installed. We should expect on the court docket next, or on the court packet next meeting, we will have the invoice from those. What I would like to do, since we have a couple of them here with us tonight, I would like to take a moment and recognize the Maribel Volunteer Fire Department folks for being here and all of the work that you all do in conjunction with the city of Burkesville and Cumberland County. So if you'd please stand and be recognized. Thank you all very much for being here, and hopefully we'll have those digital repeaters to you very, very soon. Any questions on letter K under new business? Hearing none, we'll move to letter L. Maribel Park Security Lot. Magistrate Jeff Cyphers will be presenting to the court for consideration and expenditure that candidly I think is an excellent use of taxpayer funds for a taxpayer asset over in Maribel. So Jeff, if you would.
Up there at the front of the park where everybody parks at, everybody parks walking the walking track or whatever, it's dark as it done. And we need a light. And the Tri-County's bid it $1,000 to run, it's gotta run about 600-700 foot of line and put in a new pole. And I'd asked Luke if the court would approve, to pay for that. For the park. The park's gonna pay 20% of it, so that'll be $800 to the fiscal court.
And we have, this is an excellent opportunity to mention that any expenditure that has a positive return on investment for our taxpayers should and hopefully will be brought before these meetings for consideration. And this one, Jeff, has my support. For what that's worth, it has my support. I think that it is a good deterrent of any type of mischief, as well as just practical from a safety concern to have down there. And I appreciate your leadership and the park board's willingness to put forth 20% of the expense. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion, if there be one, to approve $800 from the general fund to a security lot at the Maribel Park. So moved by Magistrate of the 4th District. Is there a second? Seconded by Magistrate of the 3rd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. At this time, I would like to welcome to the podium our IDA Chairman, Dr. Elijah Wilson, to present to us a resolution from the IDA.
Judge, members of the court, thank you. I'm glad to serve in this position on your behalf. I am the chair of the Burkesville Cumberland County Industrial Authority. That is a joint organization, meaning that it has 3 individuals that are appointed by the city and 3 that are appointed by you, your team. The purpose of the Industrial Authority is to acquire and purchase property for economic development. And so I come to you tonight to request approval of the resolution. I don't have a copy of it myself, but you guys have a copy of it in front of you. And what that resolution does, if passed, will allow us to apply for the Regional Development Agency Assistance Program. If we were able to apply, we would use funding towards the development of the Cumberland River Industrial Park. The park is owned by the Burkesville Cumberland County IDA and is being marketed for industrial development and is also zoned for industrial development, with the long-term goal of increasing the availability of high-quality jobs. The primary objective of phase 1 is to complete earthwork, as you will see in your packet. And so hope that you guys will adopt the resolution, but I also want to invite you out to our regularly occurring meetings. We meet once a month. I also have a Zoom account set up, so if you're not able to attend in person, if you would like to participate anywhere in the world, let me have your contact information, and I'll make sure that you have that Zoom link. The industrial meeting, all of our meetings are open to the public, and we love it when people attend. Our meetings are the first Thursday of each month at 11:45, and we always meet in the Welcome Center or the Chamber office, unless we go to some other site off location. But in that instance, we always let the public know. We also make sure all of our meeting announcements are in the paper and in the newspaper and also on our website. And I'd be happy to entertain any questions that you have about the development of the project. And I'd also encourage you to go and check out our website, because all of the information about the project is already on there, including the deed and the original bid packet for the project. And so I'd be happy to answer any questions.
What was that time again?
11:45. And if you could share with me your email or phone number, I will make sure to include you on our distribution list, because sometimes I do send out emails of just a lot of stuff that we got going on. Like right now, we've got a PDI grant application. I actually brought a copy of the application that we submitted. It's a 3-ring binder this big. So a lot of times there's more stuff that's going on that we can cover in a minute. But economic development is a team sport, and we need more people on the team. We need more people involved. Our meetings are always open to the public, and we would love to have anyone in here come to those meetings, and including all of our elected officials, because we've got to do this together, and that's why I'm here today.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just so, and you all have this in your packets that you see too, but for the folks in the audience who don't have this in the packet, the resolution that Elijah has mentioned, I will, so that we have it on the record, I'll read that for us. Fiscal years 2022 to 2024, RDAAP authorizing and designation of SPGE, Resolution, County of Cumberland. Adoption of a resolution of the Cumberland County Fiscal Court designating the Burkesville-Cumberland County Industrial Development Authority Special Purpose Government Entity, SPGE, to receive Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA, funds under the Regional Development Agency Assistance Program, RDAPP, and authorizing the filing of a Regional Development Agency Assistance Program, RDAPP proposal grant application for up to $615,384.60 in RDAP funds with the Department for Local Government, DLG, and authorizing the designated Burkesville-Cumberland County Industrial Development Authority Special Purpose Government Entity to act as the authorized correspondent for the project. Whereas Cumberland County desires to promote and carry out economic development efforts and job creation activities on behalf of the residents of Cumberland County by supporting the RDAP projects. Whereas it is recognized that RDAP funds available to the county pursuant to KRS Chapter 96, impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the county and will require: 1, approval and a satisfactory application to be transmitted to DLG for approval. 2, the designation of a special purpose government entity established under KRS 154.50-301 to KRS 154.50-346, and number 3, concurrence from the respective state representative and state senators. Now therefore be it resolved this 13th day of February 2023 by the Cumberland County Fiscal Court that the following special purpose government entity is designated to receive Regional Development Agency Assistance Program funds. Burkesville, Cumberland County Industrial Development Authority. The RDAP project proposal application on behalf of the County of Cumberland for RDAP monies up to $615,384.60 for Cumberland River Industrial Park shall be submitted to DLG. The county shall provide such additional information and furnish such documentation as may be required, and the designated SPGE shall act as the authorized correspondent for this project. What questions do members of the court have for the chairman or the project?
Well, I will say that I was invited to join the meeting via Zoom, and when I tried to, it said the host was not available, so I couldn't join the meeting, and it would have been real interesting if I could have, got a little information then. Because, I guess the questions I would have, you said it was on the website, so I guess I could go on there. Have y'all secured a right of way into that large trucks can enter and
Yes, we have. I've had that question from a couple other people because I've had that question from a couple other people, because right now, the way the property sits, the existing road on there, but that's not going to be the main thorough through on the project, and I actually have a copy if you would like to see exactly where the road will be, and I brought 2 extra copies, and I'd be happy to give that to you if you would like it. And all of these plans, of course, were not drawn up by me. They were drawn up by an engineer, and they were the ones that reviewed the deed. And there's also been a lot of but geotechnical work, environmental, making sure there's no bats there, that kind of thing, on the property. And so that's where it is. But yes, we do have the right of way according to the deed. But I'm not a surveyor, and I'm not an engineer, and I don't want to speak outside of my expertise.
Good question, Lane. Any other questions from the court at this time for the chairman?
If you got time, just, give us a brief overview. What's this gonna do? We're, the $615,000 get us from when you start to when we get done.
So if you look at this map here, so the way the process went, I can talk about this for days, and I would love to have you guys come to meeting because you'll hear we talk about this stuff ongoing. But thank you for the question because I really do want people to understand what we're trying to do. Many years ago, when we had Stevens Manufacturing, that building was empty. We had the location up here where Joe Mail is now. We had all those properties, and when we had those sites open, we were getting annually, 5 to 10 requests for information, people that were interested in looking. Now, a lot of times they called because they couldn't find anything on the internet, and only a few of those actually came down and visited us. But since then, all of those properties now have businesses that are operating in them. And that means that we are not getting any calls because we don't have sites that are easily on the market designed for industrial purposes. According to the Cabinet for Economic Development, at any given time, right now, they have about 300 companies that are looking at relocating and expanding operations in Kentucky. If we don't have available sites, we're not in the game. And that is the reason that we are pursuing this project. Another reason that we're really pursuing it is because in 2013, about 300 people, and many of you in here, participated in a community-wide strategic planning effort. And the number one thing that came back from that effort was that we need jobs. We have to have jobs. But however, it wasn't just jobs. We want high quality jobs. And in order for us to get high quality jobs, we have to have sites that are available for industrial development. And that is the reason that we went down this path. This fund that we're asking for you to pass this resolution, when the legislators, and I'll let you talk to them about the reason, but my understanding, the reason that they passed that was so that rural communities could get in the game, because often we don't have the funds to develop these sites. And so that is the reason that they created the Regional Development Agency Assistant Program, was to help IDAs. So in that legislation, there were some very specific things that money could be used for. You can't just use it for anything. And you have to go through this process, and it has to go to an entity that is responsible for economic development to spend those funds. And so that's what we're doing. We're applying for this grant with your approval of the resolution, and we've got some skin in the game. So in our savings, we are going to put forward $569.28 towards the project. We do not receive any taxpayer dollars, and we have not since I have been chair. And we have helped, I don't like to use the word create because I don't necessarily think create is anything that government does, but we have helped to support over, I get what we use the word creation, over 100 jobs in this community. And now we have a portfolio of over $1 million in assets. And we've never got a single penny from any of our local taxpayers through local tax collections. And so I think that you will get a very good return on anything that you support that goes through the industrial development, because at the end of the day, that's what we're all about, is economic development and creating jobs. And as we also know, budgets are very, very tight. And if you look at some other county budgets, part of their portfolio is, in addition to occupational taxes and property taxes, but you also have taxes that are on existing businesses. And when you increase the property value, or you have property that all of a sudden you have a building that is constructed and then it has property with inside of that, all of that gets taxed. So that is the reason that communities that have a real strong industrial sector are also able to thrive, and they have enough money for their governments to operate. So hopefully, if we are successful, we will, one, create more jobs, which will improve the quality of life, but as a side project of that, or a side part, is that we will also increase revenue to the court. And so it's a win-win situation, but in order for us to be successful in economic development, we all have to work as a team. And I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has. I know I talked to Jeffrey earlier today about the possibility of some kind of time when we could discuss this, and I'm happy to do that. But tonight I'm here urging you to pass this resolution, because if we don't pass this resolution tonight, it could cause the project to be delayed for a long time, and it would also mean that some of the other grants that we're hoping to apply for, we will not even be able to apply for either, because we are not spending the money that government has basically said here, this is for you. And so I'm encouraging you to pass this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any further questions for the chairman?
I do. I've had several people to contact me that feel like they have really been left out on insured bid. And we're trying to get jobs in Cumberland County and spend their money in Cumberland County. But this job has been bid out to somebody somewhere else. There is not a dollar that can be staying in Cumberland County. And then I've had also people that wants it, that has tried to convince me to do this. And y'all have never come before us and explained anything laid out until you're ready for the money. This cannot happen.
May I?
Yes, sir.
We have to follow the law, and we followed the law. We had a public bid process. It was in the newspaper, it was on Facebook, I believe, and it was wherever we were supposed to put it. We had even a time that was in the newspaper where we asked anybody that was interested in applying to come out there. Our engineer was there. He met with all the interested parties. We have a sign-in, as we were required to do by law. We kept that sign-in. Where someone lives, I don't know that we can pick and choose someone based on their home address. I don't know. We would have to talk to legal counsel about that. But that would, which I agree, I would love to see our local people get it. I think that would be great. But they didn't apply. And I wish that they did, and maybe they would have been awarded. But we, as a board, have to follow the law. And the law says that we have to take the lowest and best bid. And if they did not submit a bid, we cannot consider them. Now, if I were a contractor, because of the scope of this project, and the contractor who was awarded the job, their address is in Danville, Kentucky. If I was a contractor, I would be reaching out to them to say, hey, I'm here locally, I might be able to help you on this project to save some money. That would be my recommendation to them. And my recommendation would also be, read the newspaper, go to your Chamber of Commerce meetings, attend your industrial authority. All those meetings occur every single month, and I have been 2 times every single month for the past year at our Chamber of Commerce board meeting and our Chamber of Commerce regular meeting talking about this project. Anytime that anyone will ever listen, I will talk to them. So I'm happy to talk to them in the future, but I cannot and will not break the law, and I was following the intent of the law to the best of my ability, and I believe that we've done so. And we've also done that with always having legal counsel there whenever we can. So I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I'm doing what I can. I'm just a volunteer. There was no way any of us would ever want to exclude someone because they lived in Cumberland County. So I do challenge that assertion that you made.
Appreciate this response, Mr. Chairman, and appreciate the question actually from the first district to that point. Any other questions for the chairman at this time? Magistrate of the third.
Appreciate you being here, Elijah. I guess, of course, I'm new to this, my second meeting. Pretty green on what, just bits and pieces, what I've heard, what's going on. How much of the area are you gonna try to develop? Like I'm talking sewer line, water line, electricity. I know there's a lot, I'm familiar with you a little bit with the area there. I know a lot of it's wet. So, are you wanting to go pump the river with the sewer line and stuff like that?
If you can see this here.
Yeah, that's my first time seeing it.
Okay. If you can see this, what we had originally intended to do was to put in an access road that would go back all the way to the back of the property. And a lot of this site will not be easily, we would have to do a lot more earthwork to get it up above the floodplain. So it's not going to be ideal for industrial development. There's going to be some leftover land there. I believe of the total area, once the engineer does the work, there's some retaining ponds that will have to be built. But about, I think, 31 acres of the 96 acres that are there will actually be suitable for industrial site development.
Is that what shaded a lot of the 31-ish acres?
Well, the red part is actually phase 1.
Okay.
So back to where I was talking about. So when we bid the project in October, it came back as no surprise, more money than we had. And so what we had to do is then go back to the contractor and say, how can we lower the scope on this project to fit within our budget? And so that's how we came up with the new number, working with the contractor and following what was in his bid. And so that's what we're hoping to do. Now in the future, this is probably going to be at least 10 years in the making, but what we're hoping to do very soon is to get some pads within the next couple of years ready so they can be put on the market and marketed.
Let me ask this question. So with respect to the 10 years, because I could see that being a big part of the takeaway here. We're not talking, if the money moves forward tonight, we're not talking that this particular dirt work phase takes 10 years. You're saying the entire development.
Right. Yeah. So the red portion there, if we are able to start immediately, we will hopefully be finished by this fall. That's my understanding from the
That is
contract.
phase one
Yes.
of the excavating part.
Yes.
In the road plus.
It doesn't even, I wish it did, but it doesn't. It does not even include the asphalt on the road.
What is the expenditure on this part?
The way the contractor's broken it down is earthwork phase, compaction monitor testing, engineering design, and construction engineering. So we've got a long way to go until this site is completely finished, as proposed.
If we move forward with this tonight, I think you could do a lot better at contacting the contractors in this county and making sure they know
Yes.
of this job.
I'll be happy to, and I'll be happy to share my.
They're very, very upset that they did not know, and nobody, not me, they've asked me, why didn't I know? I didn't know it either.
I'm sorry.
They need to know.
I'm sorry, I will always do better, but at the same time, we've all got to do better. Because at the end of the day, if we want to succeed as a county, communication and collaboration is key. And most problems in life happen because either miscommunication or lack of communication. So I will guarantee this, that I will do my best. I will reach out to any of those contractors. And if you would like to give me their name, I will personally call them at any time, and I'll be happy to do so. Because of course, if someone here is able to complete the work, me and all the other members of the board, and you appoint 3 of those, would definitely, we're all residents here. We have to be residents here. We would love to award this contract to a local business.
Well, it'd make it a lot easier for us. It would, to let everybody know what's going on. Everybody needs to be involved.
And I think to that point, in Magistrate of the First District, I can certainly appreciate, and I think the entire court and the chairman appreciate the way that you're advocating for the business owners that exist in Cumberland County that could participate in that. Similarly, I appreciate, Mr. Chairman, your response, your very candid, very thorough responses there and the way that that process works. What I think, if I'm understanding across the board, is that none of us can speak to a year ago, 10 years ago, or 100 years ago. We can only answer moving forward for what we do as individual members of the fiscal court. And what it seems I'm hearing is that, to your point, communication and collaboration are key, and the buy-in from the folks here locally getting to participate in the communication and in the collaboration will be not only welcome but required moving forward. And I think based on some of the recent conversations, there is an appetite for a discussion around how that land can be used for economic development. And not just, well, we have to do this or we have to do that, but a very hearty, very thorough, very healthy discussion on all different sides, various perspectives. That is the only way, from my candid perspective, that this will move forward and have any weight whatsoever. Because even if the resolution passes tonight, money is expended, dirt work starts moving, that does not mean jobs will be in this county on that piece of ground next year. To your point, we are several months away from seeing that tangible ROI, with the exception of any contractors that are here working. Naturally, they eat at our restaurants, shop in our stores. But that will be a long-term play. And this is not a discussion for 1, 2, or 10 people to say, this is the direction that the county's headed in. This is a county project that will require members of the court, members of the IDA board on both the city and the county side, and every able-bodied and willing taxpayer of Cumberland County who wishes to share their opinion on how we can best use that piece of ground to move this county forward. Because candidly, it may very well be that none of us in this room, since all the young people left, it may very well be that none of us in this room are the beneficiaries of a 100% at capacity industrial development park with big this and big that. And that's okay. as long as we're taking steps in a direction where there is not only sustainable progress, but progress by which we can all be held accountable for the role that we play in making sure that start to finish, it is a success. So that's my take on it, Mr. Chairman and the court. Any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain, yes, Master District 2.
I'd just like to follow up on what Master Anderson had asked there, and you said there was 31 acres that would be suitable for businesses to build on. How much does that leave that's not gonna be able to be used for that purpose? And do you have any plans as to what that might be used for on that road?
Well, when I say it's not going to be the best. It would just require more work up front to get it up to that 100 level. But to your comment about what could that be, I think it goes to exactly what you're talking about. Let's have a discussion. You know, how can we use that property that it would benefit the rest of us? For right now, we have Greg Young has been leasing the property, and so he's got cattle on it right now, and he's going to continue to have cattle on it as it was for the foreseeable future. But I think that would be a great discussion about how could we leverage the property that we all own for the greater good. And, you know, there's been lots of ideals thrown about, but it all comes back to funding. But if we could all maybe have a forum or some type of symposium where we put everything out there on the table and then come up with a good game plan and, you know, and work our plan. And there's nothing that's set in stone as far as what we're going to use it for. So I would love to have that discussion with everybody that's interested in the property.
And if there are members here in attendance tonight who have suggestions, whether it be for this kind of business or that kind of business, and full disclosure, I mean, I've got businesses in my mind that I think would be an excellent asset to this county, to this area, whether it be on the educational side or whether it be on the industrial side. I think we've got a lot of potential. What I think that we've got to do one way or another is be cohesive in our moving forward. Because my advocating for one thing, this person advocating for another, is not near as productive as all of us saying we're in it together. And that is something where I know there's been a lot of discussion here tonight, and arguably more discussion than what I have seen in about 18 months coming to court meetings. So I appreciate the court and all of the folks here tonight for that. But this is the purpose of a court meeting. This is the very reason that we were elected to serve here. Ask the questions that are on our minds that the taxpayers have brought to you. The representatives of these boards and commissions get to respond to us in a very public fashion, so that the newspaper, the radio, the general public in attendance, and those watching later, they get to have their questions answered, even though they weren't here to ask. And now this is giving them the opportunity, if they say, well, I like what you said here, or I didn't understand what you said there, they can come up to each one of us after this, weeks, days, months afterward, and say, well, I don't feel comfortable sharing this thought, but I wanted to pass it along to you because at that court meeting, you said something that really resonated with me, whether that be any member of the court or the chairman. So I think moving forward, we will, I can give you my commitment to you as chairman and to the court that I wish to have a voice at the table. I wish to have some suggestions heard. Not every suggestion I have will be a good suggestion. I warn you in advance on that. But I do think that more voices and more people at the table, to your point, could never necessarily be a bad thing. And I appreciate your willingness to lead that group and make sure to facilitate those conversations. So again, not to belabor a point, but any questions that we have, and if not, yes, sir, Magistrate District 2.
Do you have anyone that's committed to come to it once it's developed? Do you have anyone, a factory that's committed to locate here?
No. And if I did, I would not disclose their information here in a public setting, because that would be proprietary information, and that could hinder whether that project would move forward or not.
Yeah. The reason I ask, I'm not much on the spec buildings, because I've heard other counties, they put them up and they're still there.
Yes, I actually from Greene County, and that happened, and those sites, they sit there for years, over decades, empty, and so that's not necessarily our plan. Our plan is to get it up to that point, and then be able to pivot as needed to whatever industry that we decide to target, and whichever industry we decide.
Of course, you said yourself, we're limited on acres.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it needs to be located, we need to see into the future where, what size building we're gonna put here, we're gonna put there, that we don't put one in the way of progress. Like utilities or sewer line or whatever do there.
So that's one thing that I've been working on right now, is trying to figure out, okay, what do we need to market this as? What is the best product that we can get out there that would attract the most attention, getting more people to look at locating here in Cumberland County. And what I'm hearing from the TVA and the Cabinet for Economic Development is kind of that sweet spot is buildings that are 50 to 100,000 square feet, or 100,000 square foot, expandable up to 200,000 square feet. And that range is listed in a lot of the grant documents. So, for instance, we just applied for the Product Development Initiative grant, and that's what they are wanting to fund. They're wanting to fund those sites. This month, if we're able to pass this resolution, I intend to submit an application for an arrest prep grant to the TVA for between $750,000. And what they want in their grant application is that exact range. 50, a space where could be built 50 to 100,000 square foot building that's possibly expandable up to 200,000. So that's kind of what we're going for now, but we've got a lot more time to really discuss that, because this is basically just doing some earthwork, and so that will be the discussion that we have during our IDA meetings kind of over the next 6 months is, okay, where do we go from here? What's going to be the best product that we can put out there that will be the most likely to encourage someone to come in and make an investment in our community.
Good question, Manager District 3. Any other questions from the court?
I guess it'd be possible, we got a lot of contractors, I'm not gonna say it, but I mean, they could probably subcontract. I mean, I don't reckon it's coming out of the question, I wouldn't think, is it?
I'm not a contractor, but if I was a contractor, I would be coming up and talking to me and saying, what's the name of that guy that just got, or the company that just got this business? Because they're located in Danville, Kentucky, and to me, it would just make sense to reach out to them. And also attend our IDA meetings and the Chamber of Commerce meetings. If you ever come to the Chamber of Commerce meeting, you usually notice I don't want to throw him under the bus, but an individual from Scott Murphy. He travels all the way from Bowling Green. He's represents one of the biggest contractors in our region. The reason he does that is to be in the know. And when you show up to these public meetings, you're in the know. And so that's what I would encourage all those contractors to do. But I definitely think that would be kind of some low-hanging fruit if I was them to go directly to the source. Because this is a lot of money. And I think that, I mean, I'm not a contractor, so I don't want to speak out my expertise. And that may not work. But I would think that would be something that I would definitely try to do.
Good question, Manager, from the 4th District. Any other questions, comments from the court? What be the will of the court? Is there a desire to move forward in the form of a motion? So the way that this will work, I'm not going to pull anything out of anybody, but the way that this will work, if this does not receive a motion, then we've had an excellent discussion here. We've had an excellent discussion, but it can't move forward on good discussion alone. It will require a motion and a second and a satisfactory vote to move forward. Elijah, can you speak to the question that maybe I have here? In the event that the resolution is not adopted tonight, are there funds that are forfeited?
Funds that are forfeited?
Any type of sunk cost, engineering costs?
Yes, we would most likely, I'm sorry. I would think that we would probably have to pay the engineer because part of their payment is part of this grant application. And so we would probably have to pay that. It would also mean that we would not be able to fulfill our obligations in the Product Development Initiative grant that we also have application. And it would also mean that we would not be able to apply for the TVA funds. So if you don't pass it, short and simple, you're missing out on about $1 million.
So a follow-up question to that. Excuse me, follow-up question to that. If it is not passed at tonight's meeting, if there's not an appetite among the court tonight for it, is this something that can be brought up after a 30-day window, speaking with constituency at the next meeting? Or is there a deadline that is coming up that we need to be aware of, like this week or next?
Well, this may be some delight to some, but it would mean most likely that we would also have to rebid the contract. And if we did that, we would have I hope that we get applications, and that would also put the project back, and it would also take, I would have to reevaluate how I spend my time, because I've spent many hours working on these projects, trying to be as transparent as possible, and I do not know how much time that I'm willing to commit if this simple resolution is not passed. And maybe there is a better person for this position, and I would love to have someone else to get involved, but I cannot continue to do this much work without a commitment from the court that we're all going to be on the same team.
Appreciate your honesty and your candor. Questions, comments, or any desired motion from the court?
I'll make a motion to pass it, but I advise you not let it come to this no more. It won't work. I don't want them calls. I don't want people. I want to hear from everybody. I want to know from everybody. But this is not what I want to see. I'll make a motion.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Motion is properly moved by Magistrate of the 1st District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Magistrate of the 3rd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Mr. Chairman, thank you for being here at the court. I want to especially thank you, not just for your discussion and your responses tonight, but the way that both at the podium and at the table up here, you have advocated for the people of Cumberland County, both in your position as chair and your position as magistrate. I think that the taxpayers of Cumberland County thank you for doing so and having this open and frank discussion.
Could I say one more thing?
Certainly, Magistrate District 1.
I would ask if you would talk with these contractors and try to get them in touch with these people and see if they can get some work. Because some of that money needs to be spent here in Cumberland County.
Amen. We'll do it.
Thank you for advocating for Cumberland County Magistrate. Any further questions? Hearing none, thank you very much, Magistrate District 3. Does any member of the court at this time know of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before the meeting? Magistrate District 1. Magistrate District 2.
Judge, I'd just like to make a statement concerning our county roads. And I'd like to make a statement that if anybody or any entity damages our roads, they would be expected to restore those roads back to their original conditions before the damage was done.
I agree. I appreciate that, Magistrate District 2. I think that's not just best practice, but I think that's a good expectation moving forward of this administration. I would agree. That is also my expectation for folks. Magistrate District 3, anything from you, sir?
I also agree.
Thank you very much. Magistrate District 4.
I just want to brag on that bridge. Everybody already go look at that bridge. They done a heck of a job.
I agree. Thank you, Magistrate District 4 and the road crew for making it possible. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Moved by everybody. Moved by Magistrate of the 3rd District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Magistrate of the 2nd District. All in favor, aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you all for being here.